Hey guys, and welcome to my second resin crafting video. If you haven't seen the first one and you want to, be sure to go check that out. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make resin pieces with pictures or stickers in them. So if you want to see that, keep watching. First things first, you want to figure out what you want to put in your resin piece. I use a lot of printed pictures. You can also use stickers. They both work. You're just gonna wanna make sure that you get plastic stickers or that you laminate them, because when you put your picture into the resin, if it is not waterproof, then it will get ruined. So be sure you do that, and I will show you how to do that if you're curious. Pick which one you wanna use and begin to cut it out. You also wanna make sure that it's going to fit into your mold that you're using, so just make sure. And you're gonna have to laminate these, so you want them to be smaller than the mold. If part of your picture is about to snap off, like Bill's little arm here, don't worry about that. You can fix that when you laminate it. So just keep going and just try to be careful. Have your little guy cut out, or whatever you are putting in your piece. There we go. You're going to need to laminate it. So you can buy laminating paper, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of expensive. The easiest thing to do is just get some regular tape like this. Just pull out a piece, make sure there's like no dirt or fingerprints on it. This tape's like really cheap and covered in dog hair, so just be careful that you don't have anything weird on the piece where you're gonna put your character. All right, cause his arm is messed up, we gotta be really careful. So get your piece of tape, find a clean spot. If you messed up something, try and get it back into place. And then just stick it on to your tape and try not to get your fingerprints on this. I know it's kind of hard. I use the little cutting tool. All right, so once he's stuck on there, make sure your tape is clean and fold it over. Sorry guys, this is really hard to do with the camera in front of my face. So fold it over, press it down. There's gonna be air bubbles, so work the air bubbles out. And once you've kind of got all the air bubbles out, you're gonna cut around your guy. Just make sure you're leaving enough space that your tape is still stuck together, because you don't want the resin getting into your piece. It will ruin it. I've done it before. So just cut around, not too close. So there you go, there's your laminated piece of paper. Don't worry about the edges, you won't really see them once they're in the resin. So this is what you're gonna do after you get your little guy. Like in my other video, you're gonna have to mix equal parts of resin. All right, I'm gonna skip over this part because I did this in my other video, so I will see you when my resin is ready to be poured into the mold. So once your resin's mixed up, you're going to start pouring it into the molds. Make sure your molds are clean. You can put it as thin or thick as you want it. I like making my pieces really thin, so I just try and get a nice even layer on the bottom. Don't worry about bubbles yet, we'll get to that in a minute. You're gonna need toothpicks for this too, so just be ready. All right. So once you have resin covering the bottom of your mold, you'll notice that there are a ton of bubbles. What you're gonna do is you're gonna get a plastic straw and you're going to blow the bubbles out. You can also do this with a lighter, but I just have a straw. These are great value bendy straws. I cut them up so I can get many uses out of them. Sorry if you can hear the bird clock. And you're just going to blow out the bubbles. All right, so I got a lot of the bubbles out. There's gonna be a few more, but we're gonna let this sit and they'll rise to the surface and we can come back and get rid of the bubbles. Also, really fast, if you have long hair and you're doing this, make sure your hair is pulled back, okay? It's awful if you get resin into your hair. So I poured a few more and I let them sit for a few minutes just to get the air bubbles to rise so I could pop them a little bit more. Now that you have them like this, you're going to put your stickers or little cutouts in. And again, just make sure they fit. All right, I think he's gonna fit in there. So, okay, you're gonna turn them upside down because the bottom is gonna be the face of the thing. So turn them upside down and just set them on top. Oh, air bubble. So just set them on top and just slowly, starting from the middle, push them down. And it is gonna create a few more air bubbles. It's okay, we'll get them out. You wanna do this slow though, so no air bubbles get trapped under your picture. And these are gonna rise again, so you're gonna have to come back and keep pressing them down. You wanna make sure that the resin goes all the way over your picture. If you don't have enough resin in there, you're gonna have to add some more because you need it to be fully covered. Once you have your pieces in like this, like I said, just get some of the air bubbles out. And if they're not popping, you can actually drag them behind your image and hide them. That's always a good way if you can't get them to pop. So once they're in like this, you are going to leave this for 30 minutes and then we'll come back and check them. So I'll see you guys in 30 minutes. It's been about 40 minutes now and I'm gonna check these because they're probably ready. What you're gonna do is you're going to take a toothpick and just touch the top. You can see how it's sticky and there's like a little bump there now. That means it's ready to put the sparkles in if you're going to be adding sparkles. So before you do that, just make sure your picture is exactly where you want it. So just press them back down because they've probably floated up a little bit. So we are ready to add sparkles. If you don't want any glitter in your piece, you are going to just let it cure for 24 hours. The reason you don't add the glitter before this is it will all sink to the front of your piece, which can get trapped under the picture and ruin it. So don't do that. Just wait 30-40 minutes and add it then. many sparkles as you want. You just let them cure 24 hours and then you can come back and you can add the backing like this if you want your piece to not be see-through. And also, like I said in my other video, if you're using the silicone mold, sometimes the piece will come out really flat and you'll have to dome it. So in 24 hours, I will come back and I will show you how to do those things. All right guys, it has been about 24 hours and I'm going to show you how I add the backing on my resin pieces. I intentionally messed one up so you could kind of see what happens if the glitter gets under your stickers. It just ends up not working. So to add back, what you're gonna do is you're gonna mix your equal parts of resin again. And then I decided that I'm going to do white on both of these. So you're just gonna add in whatever color you want the backing to be. And just start slow. Don't put too much in at one time. Just keep going until you have the desired color. Carefully pour it over your pieces. And see, the sparkles will stay in place if you've waited long enough. So now that they're in their molds, you just want to blow out the air bubbles again, and you can do this and then let them sit for a few minutes and let the air bubbles kind of collect and do it again. Just make sure you get all the bubbles out and let them dry again for, or I should say cure, let them cure again for 24 hours. If you've made your piece and you've popped it out and it's looking flat like this and you want it to be nice and glossy, you're gonna have to do what's called doming it. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your resin, whatever you've mixed up, if you have leftovers, just use that, and just carefully pour it into the center. You're also going to need a toothpick. As you can probably already tell, it makes the piece look a lot shinier. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a toothpick and you're just gonna smooth this all the way around your piece. And if you need more resin, obviously pour more. I've also had it spill over. That happens. You're just gonna have to file it down with a nail file. Take your time with this. Make sure you're getting every single part. And this is going to have to cure for 24 hours as well. And the main thing for this is keeping it away from pet hair and anything else that can get stuck in this and ruin the top. If you get a fingerprint in this while it's drying, it's very noticeable, and so is the pet hair, cat fur, dog fur, whatever. Right, so once you have a nice even coat, just make sure, again, you get all the bubbles out. So that's it. I will be back in another 24 hours and then we will finish this video. Okay guys, it has been about another 24 hours. We're gonna check all the pieces, so just tap them lightly. That one's definitely done. Let's check this one. And if they get a little bit of this color in the middle, don't worry about it. I mean, I don't think it ruins the piece. If you're not happy with it, I would just say mix the resin and paint together a bit more. They're both ready, so with silicone molds, they just pop out super easy. And if they're a little bendable, then they're not ready to come out. So there's that one. And as you can see, the heart-shaped molds don't leave that glossy finish, so I'll have to dome this one. Let's get this one out. All right, there you go. There's that one. See how it comes out a little bit shinier? It just depends on the mold. You can't really see it on camera, but in person it's really noticeable. So if you're not happy, just dome them. I mean, you can dome anything you want. It's up to you. So there you have it. That is how you make these resin pieces. You can do whatever you want with them. make them into fridge magnets, keychains. I have one hanging from my car mirror. So if you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.